Thank you so much, F. and KP. Guys, we are done now with the wildcard bracket, and we are moving on to the next round. The first game we're going to be seeing is SK versus Cognitive Red. Let's take a quick look to remind us who is on SK Gaming.
SK Gaming. Maniac. Zero. Captain Twig. Badger. Real Zex.
And that was your roster for SK Gaming, everyone. We are now going to look at the roster for Cognitive Red.
Cognitive Red. Delios. Nagars. Verbouge. Ionic. Snoopy.
All right, folks, welcome back to the Alienware Analyst Desk. As of course, we've been here. I would say we've been, having quite the time here.
That's right.
More pictures have been flooding in. By the way, I feel like this is more like the picture update center than it is the Analyst Desk.
Right.
It's we've been getting some pretty funny stuff. We had Cheetos and bacon, and
I'm apparently a Cheeto magician now. There's one of me just like flipping
he's
Cheetos
juggling
around
Cheetos.
me, doing like Cheeto ninjutsu or something like that, which is great.
Cheetos
And
sponsor Smite.
that's right. Everyone just hashtag SWC. Send us the picture. Should we do another pose?
No other post. We'll save that for tomorrow. We'll hit you with the post swag tomorrow. Watch out, guys. All right, let's go ahead, jump into the picks and bans here for SK Gaming, facing off against Cognitive Red. Real excited for this matchup. We've been hyping it up since the beginning of the broadcast, Dry Bear.
This is Clash of the Titans.
right,
It's not
there goes
Titan,
the-
but it's Clash of the Titans.
Yeah,
I mean,
not
SK
literal
Gaming,
Titan.
Cog Red, very heavily favored going into this. Sylvanas is going to be banned out immediately. There's Bakasura. Now note, there is no Circuit banned here, and it's really tough to be first pick, and it's still being unbanned by your second ban, and you're like, well, if I don't ban this, it's a possibility it goes through. It's up to Cog Red to ban it here if they're really afraid of it.
Yeah, there goes
There it
Thor
is.
as well.
There it is, yeah.
And Circuit. So we knew that was going to come up as well.
That's actually a really common mind game. What the second pick will do is not immediately ban Circuit,
Yeah.
and if the team doesn't feel actually up to playing Circuit or giving up other picks, they will ban Circuit. So.
Little mind games there.
Yeah,
Little mind games
it's
there before the
nice.
first
Well,
pick.
I mean, we've seen a lot of successful God plays throughout the day. Alguang is definitely one of them. It works so well for SK Gaming. Zero's going to be picking this one up, I would imagine. Now, Cognitive Red's going to get that Divios Osiris. Give it up for that pickup there. The question is, what will they pick up next? We've seen Apollo working very well.
Vulcan.
Snoopy going to grab up that Vulcan. You know, first off, to you, Allied, the People's Vulcan, what does this mean?
Whew, Snoopy's going late game, that's for sure. He is like one of the best Vulcans, that's for sure. And he's almost better than me, but I'm really excited for this dual lane, especially versus Apollo, which I consider Vulcan's favorable matchup.
Now, one thing I do want to mention, because I was talking to Reels last night, and I was asked him, you know, if it happens, because you're on the side of the bracket, you go up against Snoopy's Vulcan, which is very well known, are you afraid? And he brushed it off as if it was just, you know, a lunch date. I mean, just absolutely casual. And to him, he feels like he can conquer this lane with almost any hunter. Apollo already locked in for SK Gaming. Reels said that he's going to win this through and through.
Interesting stuff here. SK Gaming, looking to go into this next phase of banning as they just locked those two in. And now, what does this all mean? How is the picture being painted right now, Zim, in regard to SK Gaming? What are they looking to do? What are they looking to accomplish with this team comp?
I'm a bit torn. I mean, I've never seen SK prioritize Aquang this highly. Obviously, Hazard does a really great job last game. Against Osiris on a Vulcan, it might be hard to get like a good opportunity to go in and do damage without getting like out-traded by Osiris. You know, his 3 reduces the damage taken. I don't know. It's really hard to say at this point.
Whoa.
Mercury.
fastest god alive. Mercury coming out and punching his fist through. Maybe they're worried about getting, because we saw this a lot, right, with Osiris, the fact that he gets down to about 20-30% but never seems to die. Maybe the execute coming out from Ao Guang is going to be that to push him over the edge.
But they have Geb. You know, you can Geb shield, the Ao Guang's done, the ultimate never goes off.
Chalk and Ymir.
Chalk and Ymir.
For SK Gaming, so that's going to be the final pick. That's going to be pretty good for them. Of course, Ymir going to play the Guardian role. I'm making the assumption.
Release the Kraken.
There we go. Poseidon is going to be all locked in here, folks. And there we have it, the matchup you guys have been waiting for. SK Gaming, Cog Red. Get out there, tweet the stream. Let everyone know what's going on. It's about to go down. We're going to toss it over to our casters. Take it away, fellas.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the caster desk. This is the one I've been waiting for.
This is the one I think everyone at home has been waiting for. And looking at the lineups, it's definitely the one that I've been waiting for. We have very interesting matchups going into this one. Osiris, most noteworthy, going through for Cog Red. On the other side, though, Ao Guang.
Well, Ao Guang's going to be in the jungle. Chak's going to be solo. So the Maniac versus Devios matchup that everyone wants to see.
Yeah, it's
because
huge.
EU are like Maniac. NA, Devios.
And Devios is known for just being this super intelligent player who just wants to watch the world burn. But Maniac, he always knows when to aggress. He's very, very precise, and he always takes the advantage when it can. We're getting ready to go in. Before this match starts, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together. This is Cog Red versus SK. I want everyone pumped up here. Everyone's gonna get crazy. It's gonna get crazy.
So they're currently loading into game right now. But with these picks and bans that we've seen come through, the Mercury, a Poseidon as well, Gandhi?
Yeah, Poseidon's possibly the best mid in the world, according to myself, moving forward. After that, it is very, very important to note that Order side is actually preferred here for Cog Red. So they're actually playing from second pick, so that's going to switch it up. But, ladies and gentlemen, starting off on the Chaos side, put your hands together for SK Gaming.
And across the way, the Titans. Well, actually, you can't call them Titans.
You can't call it. Come on, man. We have one job.
Okay, Cognitive Red coming out the top side of the map. Give it up for them. Or don't if you don't want to.
Hey. All right, so off the beginning here, we're going to be seeing a lost artifact coming out of Agni, which is going to be big. That's Captain Twig. If you don't know anything about Captain Twig, he's one of the best jousters in the entire world. He loves his mages. He's very, very dominant, super safe, super precise. Now, on the other side here, the Mercury pick from Gars. I saw him run it one time in a scrim versus Cog Prime. He loves the setup. But his 3, which is a special delivery, he wraps someone up and throws them. He has to be careful with that.
He has. Right now, though, the interesting thing is just to see the positioning of the wards early on. You can see there's an early ward placed down by Maniac at that speed buff. They may look for an invade here, early SK Gaming, you know, or they're just trying to spar out in case Red tried to do the same thing.
So this is what happens. In order to break the double hand meta that Cog Red does, you have to get in their face and force them out, and that is exactly what SK's done. Right Harpies are going to go to SK Gaming. Left Harpies are going to go to Cognitive Red as we go ahead and get ready to start off the laning phase of the game.
Ionic, though, did do the Incon, as I like to call it, Incontinentia. He went to the back Harpy camp and hogged them as well, just to make sure that he can get some extra experience and hit that level 2 a little bit quicker for when he gets into lane. It does mean that the lane's going to push, though, a little bit sooner, and there's a chance for Badger to try and turn up. He's going to be a little bit too late, though.
Now, Al is going to go ahead and drop this red buff here. Now, that's going to switch up a lot of things. Now, SK Gaming, traditionally, when you're going against an NA team, that red buff doesn't get dropped, but look at the rotation already out of Captain Twig. He's got a red buff here at 53 seconds.
Now, here's the problem as well. Badger and Reels have just stole away the red buff from
That's huge.
Red. The reason they were able to do that is because Ionic's decision to go and do those back Harpies meant they got the push on even harder.
Little bit of a hiccup here as Gars is going to be in the middle of the map. Rios is going to go ahead and rotate. That is going to be Ionic. He's going to try to aggress. He's got the body block. Here comes one meatball. Decent amount of damage, and we haven't really talked about the Vulcan in the Hunter lane yet.
Vulcan, we've seen him a lot coming out from Snoopy. Snoopy does that through and through. Allied is another player who's great with the Vulcan in the duo lane as well. It's mainly a North American thing. EU, not so much. But Reels is used to coming up against unknowns. EU is generally known for doing crazy shenanigans all the time. So he should understand as much as expect it.
Well, we are going to be seeing Garz zoning out. 0-0s has a level advantage, but this is a 4-man grouping. You see Captain Twigs rotating, the duo lanes rotating. This is going to be possibly the first big interaction, and Cogred says disengage, we don't have it.
It's really smart. The reason being is because Badger can use that wall and zone one person, cut one person off and bring them down, and it'd be a terrible fight for them to get into. Give up the speed buff, it was wise, but Red are behind at the moment.
Yeah, they're behind a little bit of experience, and that's going to really come back to haunt them. I mean, you're looking at the Boosh, and he doesn't have his red buff, so now he's forced to go all the way back and leech off the back Harpies, which means he has to push and then reset. And as we take a look at the duo lane here, Ymir on Badger, he hasn't gotten a kill yet, and Ymir's traditionally known for just kind of crushing through in the laning phase.
But he's against the Geb, and Geb with the shield, it's not the easiest matchup in the world for Ymir to actually be able to pick up a kill, because obviously the slow can be removed thanks to the shield that Geb can put out. So it's not one that you generally see, but he will have the push power. However, Vulcan, great push potential as well, so it kind of evens it out.
Yep, Vulcan just going to go ahead and continuously clear this wave. Mid lane is going to go back. That is going to be Garz and Boosh going to go ahead and head back there as they're going to kind of reset. Seeing level 2 boots coming out from most players who have been backed. And really, you know, as excited as we were for it, we haven't even looked at the solo lane.
We've not had to look at it because this was Chak versus Osiris. It's going to be a farmathon in that lane. Just keep an eye for the rotations, Gandhi. When these two leave lane, will they be able to make an impact?
Well, the mid Harpies are coming up, guys. 3:15. As you can see, Cog Red, they have a 4-man rotation on the left side. It looks like SK Gaming's fine with settling for the right side. Osiris, aka Divios, is looking to possibly make a play, but he's not going to find anything, but it's okay because he shoved his wave. He's not losing.
Gets pulled, but Badger's already there going, hey guys, how's it going? And immediately reset once again.
And I don't know if NA is actually used to this meta at all. I mean, EU's always like, hey, do you want to go for the Gold Fury? Because we'll fight after, I swear.
We will. EU literally stands at the Gold Fury and look at each other for about 20 minutes. NA are like,
it's like the Revolutionary War, right?
We'll just fight, says NA.
In the mid, still Captain Twig just clearing. Now, oddly enough, Poseidon has amazing clear in the mid lane, but Agni is just as good, if not a little bit better.
Yeah, Agni generally is great in that mid lane. He struggles a little bit against Poseidon though, because Whirlpool's a cripple, which means he can't use Path of Flames, which is one of his early clear abilities. But he's doing a fine job for now. Nothing really too much to worry about. One thing I do want to point out about Boosh, on his first trip back to base, he got beads 1, just in case there was a fight of those mid Harpies there. It would have been good, but look at the right side.
Divios, he did it! First blood going to Cognitive Red. Osiris, the power of Divios is just almost unparalleled. He's fantastic. The thing about that fight is the tether. Osiris has a tether. Hold the phone. Garz looking to go for the clear here. He has the ability to do it. The speed buff on a Mercury is fantastic. You're starting to see the mid laner go ahead and rotate over. They want to secure the red. Will Garz go for this? He does have Geb and Poseidon in the middle. He's at least going to poke. Don't do this.
No, I don't think he's going to go for Elvra. He's just like poking out, just pushing the lane a little bit more. I think that big play in that solo lane, honestly, Maniac went over aggressive. He went ham, and he took tower shots. Not just the tether, the tower shots made the impact, and that's why he went down.
Now zeros, which is really, really unique because Maniac is a player who's extremely calculated, but earlier we just saw him keep diving over and over again, so it could have been a bad tendency for him there. Divios is going to go ahead and just do a little bit of damage here, but Garz is going to be in the mid lane. Isn't able to hit the major look. He is able to tag up the minion, so it's going to help with his experience, but that's really about it.
Yeah, it's kind of a safe, they're so respectful of each other overall, but the reason is Divios right now feels like he's got the number of Maniac. Maniac makes the mistake in the lane, and when you're in that situation, it's like, okay, I have to respect you more now. Divios is like, no, you made the mistake, I'm going to try and punish you and keep beating on you as you try and fall.
And there's also another reason. Now, Chalk naturally has a lot of sustain. Right? He has the Make It Rain, where it basically just gives him a lot of health. Notice how Divios started off with Death's Toll instead of Boots or even anything else. He didn't start off with the Smithies. So what this means is that he can trade effectively. His auto attacks are hitting for like 105.
Well, mid-harpies are due up in the next few seconds. You'll see them beginning to flash, and already Cog Red is sat on the left-hand side. They're in a good position for this one. The wall coverage is good, though, from SK, so they can see what's going on, but look where Devios is. He's already rotating for Rice. He's going to meet in the jungle. Zeros needs to be careful here. Will he be able to juke away with the illusion? No, he's going to turn this one around, try and fight a little bit, but now with...
Oh, no!
Badger, good war from Badger. He's actually going to save his team for now. Kraken connects onto Badger. He's going to take a lot of damage.
Wow, no way!
Devios 1 for 1, 2 for 1 right now. Devios has to back up as the Dragon is looking to dunk.
Devios all by himself. The signal's gonna come. In comes out. Devios says, I challenge you. He's gonna turn around. He's gotta be careful. This is a very, very ballsy play. He's trying to get in the backline. He's not able to do so. Devios has to run. He's gonna try to turn. He doesn't have the signal. Zeros is able to take it. Devios needed to get out of dodge, but that wasn't the case as he will go down. 4-2, taking a look at the charts. It is so even. 305, 725 experience in favor of SK.
Not even that big of a lead in any situation, but that fight was awesome. It was a good engagement. It looked like Red were the ones looking to be aggressive, but it didn't make it to the table for themselves. Badger's wall was huge in that fight, guys. He managed to wall off Poseidon and the incoming support as well, so keeping those out of that was amazing, and then he just transitioned from there.
Now, the one thing we have to talk about here, with the Poseidon in the middle, you're gonna notice that you're going to see a lot of Aegises, and if you don't see a lot of Aegises, that means Poseidon is even stronger.
I mean, you can force him by going to the Aegis. The Aegis prevents the damage for a few seconds. You have to start, it keeps you immune. You can't deal damage at the same time, though. But it does block that big Kraken, which is a big issue. The other way to deal with it, though, is not get Aegis and use those Ymir walls perfectly so he can't even throw it out. Just like he did there.
Still, the three-man grouping, we have yet to see a Gold Fury be taken. It is up. Fire Giant's going to make his presence known in about 1:45. No one's going to go for it there, but as we take a look at the right side, Devios forced back. Zeros is going to be there. Devios in a lot of trouble. Does he have the tether? Not sure, but look at him get jumped. He's going to jump out. Forces the ultimate. That is a great gank, but on top of that, we are seeing Mercury get his own speed buff. There's been no invades from SK at all.
Well, they invaded the red buff from the left-hand side at the start of the game. Did manage to pick that one up, but other than that, they've not done anything else.
You're right.
So they realized the potential to gank. Devios has been very aggressive in this lane. You can see he put the pressure on after Maniac made the mistake in lane, and that's when you saw Zeros rotate over. Zeros has come over there now just to give him a bit of a love tap and explain to him, you know, respect the boundaries. I will gank you, even though I am a jungler, and I'm generally a bit worried about the Gold Fury.
The other thing I want to talk about is the fact that Reels, who is in the European meta, you don't see a lot of Vulcan hunters. He has adapted very, very well versus going against Snoopy's Vulcan. Snoopy is very safe. He's able to poke. He's got a lot of guaranteed damage with the turret. But on top of that, he can start objectives with it as well and secure them. So going against that's very, very difficult. But as you can tell, mid Harpies are coming up. You're seeing the grouping. Osiris is, that's going to be Devios. He's coming on the backside. He's got one locked up. Geb's going to blink in. He doesn't get the Cataclysm off though. And now here comes the Earthshaker. Doesn't connect. And now in the backside, Eonic's in a lot of trouble.
Eonic blinked in then, it immediately ate the stun from Captain Twig. That stopped the Cataclysm from going off, and when he wanted to Cataclysm, it was only a
Gold Fury.
What happened?
Gold Fury. This is perfect.
They should know.
They forced him back just enough. They're look at how fast he's chunking it.
Twig is zoning so well for the team right now. 3 men zoned out by Twig. Gold Fury to SK Gaming, and that's the first real lead of the game established. 1,600 experience, 2,500 gold.
Both Harpies, Gold Fury, as well as ward control. When you look, they had 2 sentry wards. They had one at the mid Harpies on the right side, one on the left side by Gold Fury. They're controlling everything. Devios now, he's going to do a decent amount of damage to this tower, but it's not going to be enough to offset what happened to him by losing the gold.
Well, Will's going to be aggressive here. I mean, he's going in 2v1. You made blinks in, though, but there's Mercury on the back. They didn't see him. The Sonic Boom connected. Wheels gets hit by the cat. And the Gauss finds one. Badger, run for your life.
Oh! Denied!
Release the Kraken potentially. No, he's going to explode to the Gauss anyway. Twig rotated around for support. He's going to watch himself now. Great pickups.
That
Great
wall,
pickups of Red.
the wall just needs to read denied. That's it.
I worried that so much. Access denied. That's all it needs to say, because that's what it was, but he still didn't survive.
Now, so what you just saw was the fact that Mercury, aka Gars, was able to gank from behind his tower. What this means for SK is that they now have to ward behind Cognitive Red's tier 1 towers, so they have vision, which puts them in a very bad spot to get that ward down, which means there's endless kill potential here for Cognitive Red. This game is so even.
No, it's crazy between these two teams right now. It's all even on paper. If you check the golden experience, though, there's a small gold lead still for SK game, and that's because of the Gold Fury differential between the two. You can see Maniac going a bit deep into the jungle. They're looking to ward nice for himself. And as we check back in with mid lane, how's Badger doing right now? Level 9, up against...
He's doing him.
He's 2 levels behind the Ionic, though.
Yep.
That means he's not absorbing as much experience. But if the experience is even, that means that experience has been donated to other members of his team, Gandhi.
Yep. Now, the Wing Blade has come out for Ao Guang here, which is going to be very useful for everyone, pretty much, which is going to be huge for him in team fights and everything. But the one thing I'm looking at here is that Divios might be in a little bit of trouble here. He's not going to get bursted too much by Ao Guang. He's still going to stay there. And now they're going to set up for the Harpies that are going to be coming up in about 30 seconds.
Well, right ones are going to be up sooner than the lefts because of the engagement and the Gold Fury that was started. So keep an eye on the right ones. And every time these right ones have come, Divios has tried to rotate for them. Red have tried to make a play at them, and it's not really worked out in their favor both times. I don't think they do it again. I don't think they do it at the right Harpies this time.
Well, Snoopy does have to be careful. Ymir, a.k.a. Badger, going to be trailing on the backside. Real's looking to engage. He's going to force it back. Right Harpies, routinely going to go to Cog Red. Al's going to be a little bit late on the right side, a.k.a. the solo lane. Divios and Maniac just exchanging blows, not really having any kill potential at all. But there might be a gank from Gars here. He just picked up the speed. Nope.
He's going to go back to that speed, but first of all, try and finish off those Devours Gauntlets by the looks of it. Get those online for himself, so he's stacking as well. So he's going to have some lifesteal to be able to stay in the fight a little bit longer. It's not a common thing on Mercury, but it does give you sustain in these fights so you can stand and bang with the enemy teams.
Yeah, this is how he likes to build him. He likes to get the dev gloves on. He loves being able to just stay alive in fights. He doesn't think Golden Bow is good enough on this build because he values lifesteal over proccing on your Made You Look.
That makes some sense. I can understand his reasoning for it. You can see the Gold Fury. Ionic's kind of hanging around here, trying to, with the Gars actually, trying to control the Gold Fury with the wards. They were trying to catch someone, rotating him to put a ward down. Didn't fall for the bait though, did SK Game, and now we're going to see a 3v3 scenario in mid right now.
Wow, there comes the Cataclysm there. A lot was wasted. Zero's outplaying Cognitive Red. He's got that little bit of a portal where he goes invisible. It works so flawlessly. It's very, very annoying to go against. It's kind of like, man.
It's a bit like Loki. The illusion is a lot like Loki. He just
it is. Yep.
He jumps a small distance and then gets some stealth as well. So it's very, very useful for him to abuse that illusion and actually bait out that Cataclysm fantastically. Unfortunately, though, Gold Fury's still going to be in 54 seconds. By that time, Geb's ultimate will be back up.
Now, the one thing I'm looking at here is I'm wondering when we're going to see Gars actually go ahead and apply pressure on the right side. Divios is bossing Maniac right now. Anytime he wants, he could go over there and just completely ult him and just dive him and kill him.
The reason being is that Divios has this small advantage for himself that's paid off. He's only 300 gold, but you can see the reason that trade went so well, Maniac had not been back to base yet. He's gone back now. He looks like he's going for the Witchblade.
Yep, Witchblade is going to be big. It's going to definitely help. And on the other side of things, Divios, who's Osiris, he has to get Chin Size online. And Chin Size is one of the most expensive items in the game.
Captain Twig, Winged Blade. Zero's Winged Blade.
Dude, there's a reason behind it. I mean, the fact that when you look at almost every single god in Smite, they almost have a slow.
Divios has a slow. Geb has a slow. Poseidon has a slow. So does Vulcan on his passive.
Mercury doesn't.
Mercury doesn't. That's the only.
He's got a throw.
He's got a throw, and that's about it. And then the Sonic Boom. But 4 gods out of the 5 that Red have abilities that will allow SK Gaming to abuse that Wing Blade more. Plus the cooldown reduction and the other stats it gives you, and it's very cost efficient.
Well, the Boosh does have a Sentry Ward in his pocket. He's going to go ahead and throw that down. He's going to counter their Sentry Ward. That's a little bit of an advantage for him. He's going to get locked up there by the Agni. Now, Captain Twig has so much damage potential with Agni. I mean, though his ultimate resets every 20 seconds, and he can have a max of 3. That's a lot of meteors dropping on your head at any given time. Right side is going to go to Cog Red. Boosh is going to get zoned out there. and I wonder if they're going to contest the left side.
Check out right side right now. Maniac's just pushing him under the top. This lane's going backwards and forwards. Notice how it was a moment ago, it was Devios pushing Maniac in, but then Maniac goes back to base, and you see he wants to stop him from back. And these two are such ballers.
Oh, it's fantastic. Neither one of them actually electing to go into teleport.
I don't think it's the wise idea to go into teleport, honestly. Like, they don't need to get to those team fights as quick. If they can keep an eye on each other, keep each other out of it, they both provide the same sort of thing, and they need the other active slots available for them for other things more important.
Now, what's really unfortunate here for the Boosh is that he's sitting on around 800 gold in hand, which means he has another 400 more gold before Warlock Sash is even finished. Now, Warlock Sash takes about 10 minutes after that to get the full stacks.
Now, Candy, does that mean SK won lane? Because Devios' tower went down. Did Maniac win lane?
I don't know how that works.
Because this is what happens. People say, I won lane and I got the tower, but it's like, well, I killed you first. Don't mind, I got the tower.
I don't know. I think there's too many things to factor in there, and I don't like the question, and I don't respect it.
That's not a problem at all. Gold is destroyed by Reels now. There's no war coverage here. They may have some idea this is going on. Look at Badger zoning. Reels is just tanking up for his team. Onyx around. The blink kid from Ymir, though, gonna get the ward to Snoopy, forcing the beads. Gonna continue the chase because Zero's here. Great backfire from him, though, to reposition. Zeros wants to continue chasing. Needs to watch his positioning, but it's Twig the one that's getting caught out a little bit there.
He's gonna get caught out just a little bit. The crack into Aegis is gonna get baited. He's got the trident, though. He's gonna be swinging for a lot of damage. The Whirlpool's there as well. Eonix trying to peel just a little bit. Gars is gonna be there. Misses the special delivery. Zero's in the back. He's able to take out the Boosh. Reels is gonna take to the sky. Is he gonna try to...
Get out.
Oh, I don't know. It looks like he's going in, man.
They've got to bail. They've got to bail. They got the kill. They get out. It was a great play from them to get out of that situation. Dragon used defensively, and that's kind of how L1's Dragon is used. His ultimate is used. You get the full engage. You pick up the kill. Unless there's a follow-up, definitely you should disengage with it.
No ward coverage has really been the problem right now for Cog Red in that team fight. They had no idea where the enemies were going to be coming from. As you can see, a beautiful sentry ward placed down by SK Gaming right in between the mid Harpies on the left side.
That's just ward rotations, though, because if you notice where the Gold Fury is now, you can see that it's Cog Red who are in control of their sentry ward. When SK Gaming get control on mid lane, though, it looks like we're going to get a bit of damage on. Devios is trying to fight too. Twig backs out of that, and it's Maniac the one that's going to get caught because Onyx is going to continue the chase, force the ultimate, full disengage straight away.
That is fantastic. They're not trying to let Cog Red get back into this at all. And look at this. Maniac's going to try to re-engage here. He's got Agni on the right, taking a look at the gold. 3,400 gold in favor of SK Gaming. They're holding onto their lead, and they're not letting up. Now, this back is a little bit questionable for me, but regardless, Captain Twig's going to at least be able to walk away with one set of Harpies unless they play it wrong.
Well, right, Harpies do go in favor of red. Zeros is hanging around the Gold Fury now.
Oh.
Again, and here we go. Badger's on zoning. He knows they're coming. He's just made the call to SK. They're going to try for the full bit. Vulcan comes in, though. SK get the first Gold Fury of the game, but what's going to happen to Badger?
Maniac dives in there. Badger's up very weak. Zero's taking a lot of damage as well. Snoopy unable to follow up the Whirlpool. Can't kick out Zeros as they are going to be forced completely out. Cog Red falling just a little bit short, but will they dive? What can they take here? The only thing that is up is the red buff for Cog Red to take, as Zeros is going to be there. They might walk out of this with the tier 1 tower, but that's nothing compared to a Gold Fury.
They can try to push him in. Twig's trying to support Maniac here, who's Devios. He's going to tank up this tower like a boss with the help of Dev alongside him. The Kraken comes out to secure the kill, and Twig's going to back away, but Reels is up. Is Reels going in?
Oh my God, Reels is trying to make the play. Devios on the backside. Down goes Gars. They're completely out of this. They don't want any peace. Zeros is going to re-engage, possibly on Snoopy. Dives in. Will he get the kill? He does. There's the double kill. And now the Boosh is going to be taking out Captain Twig. 4 members of Cog Red go down in an amazing fashion. Are they gonna do what I think they're doing?
They can, but it's gonna be, they're gonna juggle aggro so carefully here, Gandhi. It's not gonna be the easiest thing. Eonic is online. Eonic is available, and he's gonna try and get back here in time. It's gonna take a little bit. Oh my God, he's not gonna take any time at all. He's dying so quickly. Eonic's not gonna make it back here.
Al Guang's gonna be able to just chop through this. He's gonna need to juggle this just a little bit. He uses the water illusion. SK Gaming goes from Gold Fury to tie game to now Fire Giant. Their lead is continuing to grow. 6,100 experience, 6,800 gold difference. Cog Red doesn't have an answer yet. They've tried the team fights. They fell short, Hindu.
You know what the issue was? They dived the tower for Maniac. They dived the tower for a Chuck as a team, and Twig hung around long enough. Reels comes in as well as Zeros. The respawns happened, and they managed to get back to the fight. They didn't get anything out of it and lost more than they gained. They didn't even get the tower, Gandhi. They didn't get the tier 1.
There is so much money on the COG Red side spent on actives due to the fact that SK just has perfect execution of everything right now. I mean, look at it. I mean, 3 items all the way maxed out. Poseidon, aka the Boosh, has beads 3 and sprint 3. That's 1,800 gold gone.
SK Gaming are not scared of Boosh.
They're not.
You know why? 1 Aegis. And you know what rank it is? Rank 1. Aegis Amulet. He's not even maxed that out just yet, Gandhi. That means they're not respecting Boosh. And Boosh is having a rough game this one. 1 and 3? That's not a normal score.
Yeah, let's look at what's even crazier. He has 2 stacks on his Warlocks. He's had it for 6 minutes.
He's not having an easy game for him. Maybe the SK Giants are going to try and go on the warpath now with this Fire Giant. Twig's on zoning duty, trying to catch someone on a rotation. Will he find anyone? He's just going to poke it down here, keep them away, take the tier 1 tower, start to get the gold lead and experience lead, make it grow.
Well, that's going to be a tier 1 tower taken. COG Red for the first time since I can remember is on their heels. SK is going to press forward. Are they going to look for the engagement? Eyes on Ionic. Oh no, eyes on Chuck. He's going to silence all of them. That's going to secure that tower. Now, will they continue the assault on the left lane, or will they rotate into the mid?
Risky business. Twig gets hit by a great meatball there from Vulcan. Good stun. Ionic blinks in there with the Cataclysm. Vulcan all across the back, but it hits the tanks of the team. It's not going to do too much. The wall.
Oh, Zivios, nobody!
He's going to have to use the Lord of the Afterlife defensively, and SK can continue sieging because they have Fire Giant.
Oh, look at Zero. Zero's is behind Snoopy. Snoopy, you're in a lot of trouble. The meatball will knock him up. The Kraken's going to do some damage, but not enough. Gars is going to get hit with the wall. Badger with the plays. Give the Divio still in the middle here. Will he be able to get out? The tether is down. He's going to get executed. That's a double kill for Reels. Eonix is in a lot of trouble. It looks like they're going to continue this. They're not caring about anything, Hindu.
It's risky to continue this. Like, they've got the kills. I guess it was to try and end. They've still got the regeneration from Fire Giant, but they need to back up right now.
Wow, they did not worry about anything. 10,000 XP, 10,000 gold. You can look at the items and just see they have a full item when they back on top of what COG Red has. This is very difficult, but the difference maker so far, in my opinion, has been the walls of Badger.
They're still going in. SK need to be careful. If Badger's a bit far forward, this call comes out from SK, which is smart to back away. They gained a lot in that engagement, Gandhi, that whole fight from the Fire Giant. Now they need to go back to base and use this gold and get ready for the Gold Fury, which is coming up soon.
Gold Fury is going to be in 20 seconds. More importantly, Fire Giant is up in 1:45. This means that SK is going to have the buff for an extended period of time until about a minute. They are going to have about 35 seconds now left with the buff, which then gives COG Red some breathing room here. But the problem is COG Red can't answer, and they have to worry about the Phoenix.
They have to worry about the Phoenix on the left-hand side because it will respawn eventually, but there is an Apollo on the map, Gandhi. Reels will split push that to high heaven if he gets the opportunity to, and he will still be able to rotate for the Fire Giant dance around, as we like to call it.
Gold Fury looks like it's going to be taken by SK Gaming. They are bringing the noise here. Taking a look at the stats, man, Zeros is 5-0-5.
5-0-5. El Kwong, he's new to the game, and he's actually, this is the first competition we've actually seen him being able to be played in, so it's great to see it at the pro level. And a lot of people have been talking about him solo lane potentially, but in the jungle today, we've seen him brought out a couple of times.
Jungle L, I think everyone's a little bit worried about it because the initial thing is, well, he's squishy, so he gets a kill and then he dies. But we fail to think about the fact that when you have a team who has Peel,
that's the key, Peel. He needs Peel on his team. He has a Ymir, he has a Chuck with the silence. He also has an Agni with the stuns that will back him up as well. It's going to help him out a lot to be able to get into those fights and get the damage off, because if he doesn't get the opportunity to do that, you'll see him just evaporate in a second if he gets caught alone.
Chin size is up for Divios, Magi's for Eonic. Now looking at it, Gar's finally getting the Rage Blade online. Boosh only has 38 stacks in this Warlocks. He's not getting enough out of it.
Look at the control. SK Gaming, they want a fight.
They want the
They
fight.
want
That's the end. Notice the ward coverage. Red is completely blind. Looks like Captain Twig's gonna go. The blink is gonna come from Badge, and Divios is gonna be called out just a little bit. Eonic's gonna be there. Divios waiting for his team. That's gonna be a lot of tether there. He's gonna jump up, forces out. He's now gonna dodge the Reels ultimate. Eonic's in the middle. Eonic with the great one. They might be able to turn this. The Kraken hits two. They're gonna continue. Maniac's weak. Down goes. No! Maniac lives. How did he live?
Oh, that was disgusting. Now they're going to go for Fire Giant as well. That HP, Gandhi, that's risky. If they're not going to contest Red and not going to contest this, though. They're just going to juggle, regen, very carefully. You can see Maniac back.
How did Maniac not die?
I don't know.
I called it. What?
That Kraken, that Cataclysm, that Kraken hit all.
The Kraken was perfectly timed.
The issue is Boosh has not managed to stack it up this game. He's not going to full stack Warlocks last year. He's had issues getting his damage online. And now, Fire Giant goes to SK Gaming for a second time. They take down the last tier 2 tower of the game, Gandhi, and they're looking for the right-hand Phoenix there.
Well, you're seeing the damage coming out from Vulcan here. That's going to be Snoopy. Snoopy's got to be a little bit careful. The wall's going to be there. He's going to be trapped, but he done enough damage. That's going to be a Whirlpool plus the tidal wave. Divios able to get a double kill. Divios is going to continue to surge. Reels on the side. Zeros now. He has the slow. Divios is not bothering. He turns his eyes to Maniac. Here comes a Whirlpool. Do they have the damage taken out? Eonic is continuing to aggress. Red's tower's a little bit under.
Reels. He's on the backside. He was trying to poke back, but he needs to watch his positioning here, Gandhi. He has to get away safely. It's not bad to lose 2 people for that Phoenix. I said mistake at first. I'm okay with it because that other Phoenix on the left is weak. As long as these 3 survive, there's not a whole lot Red can get from this.
Well, the big thing here as well, Red has no timers on anything. They have a rough idea on the Fire Giant, and they have a rough idea on the Gold Fury. Chalk's going to be called out here. He's going to be in a Red sandwich, and he's going to silence all of them if he delays long enough. Wow, Reels dives in. He's got the damage. He's going to get just bounced around. The execution's there as well. Kraken's going to do damage. Garz is going to get out. Zeros, can he get a kill? He has the execution up in just a second, but the Trident does so much damage.
Everybody still lives. Snoopy, though, on the left-hand side of these Harpies, keeping on his position. If he can get around the back, Reels needs to watch himself. He doesn't know that Snoopy's around the corner there. At the moment, Zeros and Maniac, they're going to push up mid. Snoopy realizes he can't come from the backside. They're going for middle Phoenix.
They're going to go ahead and just shove this down. Reels is going to be the one tanking it.
Snoopy.
You can just see him cut completely through it. Here comes Snoopy. That's going to be the Earthshaker. He's going to miss everyone, but the wall's going to be there as well. Badge is going to cut him off. Snoopy's in a lot of trouble here. This was a high-risk, high-reward play. He needs his team to come. The chase is on, and now here comes Divios. Divios has the temper. Reels is able to get one. There's going to be a second one in the backside. Maniac still managing to stay alive. Divios is trying to do everything for his team. Eonic bounces off a little bit, and now they're actually forced out of this fight.
They are forced out of the fight, but the only Phoenix remaining here, Gandhi, is the one that was already taken down. It's weakened already. Fire minions are starting to pour in on the right. Fire minions are now coming up the middle, and Twig's poking Divios away again. And we'll see if Red can hold on.
Boosh doesn't have the Kraken. No one has any ultimate. Badge is just going to walk up, misses the Frost Breath. He's going to take a lot of damage. I think he was a little bit confused. He was like, wait a tick. Yes. I've hit that all game.
Yeah, I've hit it every time. I'm, oh, that was a small mistake. And the poke here, where you go and watch is Ymir. Ymir's trying to either go for the blink, and oh, Maniac goes in deep. They're trying to zone out Boosh and catch him out of position. There's a Cataclysm coming in from Eonic. Come out in the mid lane, though. There's a fight there too, Gandhi.
Yep, Badge is going to be able to block him off there. The Kraken's going to hit for a lot of damage. They're trying to hold on. Boosh is going to rotate out. Divios able to take out Captain Twig. All Phoenixes are down. Eonic still trying to keep them here. He's like, you guys, I got this. Just, you got to follow me here, but no one did. And now we're going to see SK methodically just back up. They might take the Gold Fury here to continue their lead.
Jungle camps. Clear the jungle camps on the way back. Gold Fury is available. Reset, regroup, go again, because they've got no Phoenixes. The Titan is on about, I think it was like 47%, I read a minute ago, and that's not going to regen for a long time, Gandhi.
Yep, and now when you look at it here, Snoopy, he didn't go into Chronos because he needed the Soul Reaver. That is something very interesting. Vulcan, if you're Gnaw and you hit every single meatball, awesome, don't go Chronos, right? But everyone else, in my personal opinion, go Chronos. You want the cooldowns. It's more meatballs. It's more damage.
I agree, but obviously blue buff as well. It does give you some cooldown reduction as well as the regen, so he doesn't always have to get that. But we'll see as we go into this. Mid Harpies are available right now. They're not that important on the stage. Check in at the moment. 10,000 experience, 17,000 gold lead for SK. SK is just waiting for the last assault now. I believe they're waiting for the last fire giant. They'll go in and try and end. Because Red right now have to defend against fire minions in every lane, Gandhi, and that means they can't commit to a fire giant fight.
Well, you know, we saw it a little bit earlier on, and I wasn't sure, but the dual rings, Telkines and Demonic, has been a consistent build on every single Ao Guang player.
Yep.
I guess it's what works.
I mean, a lot of people were tantalized and tasted the type of Hasten Fatalis being a strong item on him, but I don't think you really need it, and I think a lot of players have started to realize that now, but here we go. Right, Phoenix is respawn, Badger on the forefront, keeping out for either a blink or a great wall. That's what he's looking for, is a wall. Ionic's going to look for a blink if he can see an opportunity for 3 or 4.
Well, Maniac's just going to walk straight up. He doesn't care. Here comes the ultimate. Badge is going to go for the ult. Earthshaker going to do a lot of damage to Reels. They're not in a good enough position. Snoopy's just going to back him off. The Phoenix is still up. Divios is all by himself, though. He's going to get caught out. No one wants to peel. The wall's going to be there denied, and he's going to be able to jump over it with his ultimate. Meanwhile, they have to worry about the minions that are pushing on the Titan. It is very low, 40% and counting. In comes SK. The axe comes out. 15%. SK Gaming will be advancing to the semifinals. Cog Red will find themselves in the quarterfinals. My, oh my, it was a game we expected to see SK Gaming. Wow.
SK are the second seed team. Let's just be clear, they are the second seed team from Europe, and a lot of people said Red were their favorites. Red were their favorites through and through. Just like your, who are your favorites? Who are your favorites?
Listen, man, we're not here to do this whole culture.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, we are.
We're one and the same, man. We like Smite, all right? So, big things that I would take out of this. One, SK, the secretive strategies they've stored. Amazing. My biggest thing that I watched. Wingblade on Ao Guang.
Wingblade.
Forget about it. Wingblade might be the most cost-efficient and best item in Smite.
Well, we'll send it back over to the analyst desk and see what they have to say about the Wingblade. So, good luck.
Thank you so much, Hindu, as well as Scott. And Scott, not a gracious, loser. It's just how he is. Known him for a very long time. It's just, he doesn't really like to say like, "Oh, I'm wrong."
Right.
So you'll never catch Scott Gandhi saying that.
Well, so far we're 1-1. We are 1-1. Hindu Man's bow ties are 1-1. He had the Brazilian bow tie for We Love Bacon.
That's right.
He had the Canadian bow tie for SK Gaming.
Yeah, that's right.
That's the biggest takeaway of this weekend.
Yeah, that's right. So yeah, that's it right there.
That's it.
He called it wrong. Well, yeah, so we got to talk about this. I mean, this is insane. Cog Red is a squad that many felt would come into this, dominate, and there's this guy who's smirking right there. Is like just smirk on your face.
Are you done glowing?
All right, let's Zamp, break it down. What happened in that game?
Oh my God, Zyros, what a player. Are you kidding me? He was all over the place, just ganking here and there, Reels coming in hot. I don't know, man, they just played amazing. And if this is the best America had to send Europe's way,
Woo!
Whoa.
I'm pretty sure SK will just keep on going through finals.
Whoa!
I'm sorry, I mean, it's truth.
Yeah, the thing that set this off, right?
You know where you are, right now. Okay, you are aware of this. Okay, moving forward. Yes, go ahead.
The thing that set this off was the first blood. So, the solo lane, and this is something you talked so much about Maniac, and I'm about to just break that whole sentence down. As Maniac gives up first blood to Divios in the solo lane. Let's check it out. The Logitech first blood of the game in the solo lane there. Divios, he was sitting back. He was hanging out, ready to roll, and he's sitting under the tower. Maniac just tags him for a second. The tower aggroed on top of him and started ticking down his HP, and that was the one mistake Maniac made that entire game.
Yeah, we'll get that replay for you guys so we could show you in just a few. But yeah, again, the beginning looked good for Cognitive Red. There you can see the Logitech first blood, and just, again, Dryber reintroduced what was going on here.
Watch the tower switch here. So he's going to try to stop him from back, and Divios knew this was a good play. The slow, the attack, and Divios is just, he's got to be giggling right now. I mean, of course, Divios, 15 years old. He's up on stage for thousands of people, and he just backbaited one of the best solo laners in the entire world.
Why was that the case, though, Zimp? Why do you think Maniac went after that?
It's called tactical feeding. No, just kidding. He just, I actually don't know. I think he just
Wait, dude, you're just throwing fireballs at people right now.
No, I'm
man.
sorry. Maniac, I think Maniac thought he was like maybe a few minutes later into the game where towers doesn't hurt that much. He barely had an armor, the tower hit him too hard. I don't think he expected that kind of damage. Or maybe he did not expect Devious aggression at all. And really, really good play by Devious, I must say.
Are you going to let him talk like that?
You know, honestly, I hate to say it, man, but Cogred lost. It's just SK, they played it phenomenally, but however, I won't say it's just because of like outright, like, man, they're the better team, etc. I'm gonna use the John or the excuse that Outquang OP, man. I mean, I like Zyro's build going into it as well. If you guys notice, he went for a full attack speed build, and most people are like, man, Telkine's ring, demonic, well, he must be a wing one? What is he doing? He stacked movement speed and attack speed, and it's the same case as Freya. You don't, like, Outquang comes packed with a lot of base damage.
Yeah.
And he knew that, and he was like, I'm just gonna go for survivability, movement speed, and attack speed, a little bit of protections from Witchblade, boom, Outquang late game fine. And it really showed. He, in my opinion, was the absolute star of that. Like, you could tell Cogred was not ready at all.
Yeah, the Ao Kwang, right? That was such a huge pick, and I was asking the question back here as we're watching. It was like, why was this so significant? And you know, newer god coming into Smite, so obviously adds a fresh take on the meta. But what else was it that that particular god was bringing that Cognitive just couldn't stop?
Honestly, you bring it back to what Scott was saying at the caster desk. I mean, it is going to be that winged blade. It's a very cheap item. I talked to Zeros about it at length the other night at the hotel. I was like, why does the winged blade matter so much to him? He said, you know what? The damage doesn't drop too much. You get a whole bunch of stats. It allows you to move around the map. But the Gamer Watch player of the game, as if you're wondering who I was pointing at a little bit earlier, it is Reels as they're hugging off camera here just a bit. He's up on screen, and man, 4.0 KDA, 5 killing spree, and 6 wards placed. This guy, he's still buying wards, and this is probably the first 6 wards he's ever placed in his entire life.
Yeah. I mean, of course, great stuff out of Reels, a player that we were, that we highlighted as well, in the pre-show, someone that you got to look out for. What else was it about SK's performance in that game? From start to finish, Sim, you had high hopes for this squad coming into it. All of us said you're crazy. Cogred, just one of the better teams here. They just proved a lot of people wrong, start to finish. What was that one fundamental trait that SK just did better than Cogred?
I think it's mainly the fights are in the early mid phase of the game. The thing is, you cannot get SK rolling. If they start rolling, they will just keep on rolling and snowball off of that. So I think Red should have been more careful when to pick the fights. Only take fights they know they can win. Because if they take a risk 50-50 against SK will get more out of a win than Red will.
And another thing for you, Allied, I wanted to ask you about the choice in Hunters, right? That Mercury pick there for Cogred. Was that in hindsight, obviously, would you have done something different, maybe, like brought in a different copy?
You mean the Vulcan pick for the Hunter?
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, Vulcan pick for the Hunter, but they also had Mercury as well.
Yeah, they also had Mercury. The Mercury pick, understandable, they kind of focus Vanguards, and that's also his backup, and Mercury was a really good hyper carry for the situation. I just don't think Cogred was ready for the Outquang. That's an understandable mistake, and definitely a lot of other teams looking onto it, they're gonna be like, wow, all right, well, they definitely have a nice Outquang, but individually and like lane-wise, I think the Vulcan was fine. I mean, it was doing fine early. That's kind of how duo lane is. You just prioritize farm, and generally not too many things happen like overall like that game where like Reels just had really spot on rotation, and his team fight was absolutely stellar. I was huge fan, and that's me. Like I dislike Apollo a lot. So like for me to be like, man, Reels really killed it with Apollo. That was what he did.
All right, well, I guess a shining salute on your end. Driver on your end as well, I mean, for SK Gaming. They're going to be moving on to the semifinals. Right. Cogred's going to have a little bit of a longer road, to potentially match up with them again. I guess, if you're Cogred, what are you thinking? Or, is it back to the drawing board?
Well, I don't think so. I think they've got enough in their pick pocket. I think what happened here is that they just played that early game and really was just Reels lurking in the shadows is what it was, right? We saw several times there, and it wasn't actually on the screen, because I have the game on my laptop here and able to see it while the main feed is going. And every time we saw major fights in the solo lane or in the jungle, Reels kept sneaking his way over and then killing Boosh in the mid lane, so 1 versus 1. Reels is just getting those small pocket picks that allows him to scale upward, and you have to keep a bound on him, otherwise he just gets out of control. But Cognitive Red going into the match against OMG in the quarterfinals is a best of 3. I think Cognitive Red probably a better matchup for OMG than SK Gaming, just because Cog Red will have more to work with. But overall, I think the best thing about today is probably the pictures we've been taking.
Yes, that's right. Speaking of, want to highlight this yet again, guys. If you want to get involved and make sure you're tweeting about the event, like getting on Twitter and, sharing the stream and whatnot. If you do so, make sure that you use the hashtag SWC. Also, include @Smite Game. Again, funny pictures all weekend long. We're going to hit you with another pose on Saturday. So, we've been seeing some real funny stuff there. You guys have been incredible. Thank you so much for tuning in. It's been quite a wild ride here for just day one of the Smite World Championships, of course, powered by Curse Voice. Now, the cool thing here is throughout the throughout this event we've been highlighting different things, right? We saw NA predictions, we saw EU predictions, we also saw something about the roles, right? How mid lane plays such a critical role. Well, now we're going to highlight the solo, right? The solo player, the solo lane, what their role is and how important it is for their squad. Take a look.
I play solo lane for Red. Back when the 2v2 dual lane was a thing, it was like assassin and a warrior most of the time. I used to play the warrior most of the time in that role as well. And then when it split off to jungle and solo, I just went to solo lane and stayed there.
Solo is a lot about just keeping the other guy in lane to make sure that he's not interrupting anything going on.
I play solo lane because I used to play jungle and I sucked at it, so I had to try something new.
I've always been attracted to the 1v1 aspects of a lot of games like chess and StarCraft, so I chose that.
And it's about farming early and being very strong at 1v1 situations, knowing your matchup as well.
I just really like Janice because of the mobility, and Tyrion her because they're team fight pressure with all the CC.
I think the strongest guns for solo lane are probably certain bruisers like Hercules and Vamana, and then mages as well. The healers specifically, like Aphrodite and Chang'e.
I like Aphrodite, that's probably my favorite, but I like Song Kree, Nuwa as well, mages in general, and I play Chak as well.
I'm a big fan of Loki. It makes sense in that he's really good at 1-in-1ing and rotating, so I'm just a big fan of Loki.
The best gods for my role are gods that can build really tanky for the late game and can harass and poke out their assassins and their AD carries. Gods like Hercules, Vamana, Guan Yu.
I think gods that help out in team fights are the best. There are some gods where the early pressure really helps out, but most of the times that's a big risk. So I like to go gods like Aphrodite who can just carry late game team fights.
I like to rotate a lot, stay with the team in the late game. Whereas in the start I just farm a lot and try to stay by myself.
Solo is very important for late game because pretty much the whole point in being solo right now is farming until around 15-20 minute mark, and you should just be super strong and go out and kill as much as possible.
In team fights, generally I'm just chasing their carries out of fights, or just providing a tanky pressure most of the time.
I play more supportive. I just try to help out everybody, see who needs some help when and where, because as long as I keep my teammates alive, they can do damage.
My most memorable moment from the SPL would probably be beating Red for the first time.
I remember when Devios farmed me about 6 times, and then we still won anyways, thanks to him, so I appreciate that, Devio.
I had a pretty good moment at the launch tournament in Atlanta, having a Pentakill. I don't think anything comes close to that.
All right, folks, and welcome back to the Alienware Analyst Desk. And there you saw, a couple of the, again, best players in the world there. We saw Divios. We just saw him on the main stage here, giving his insight on solo and whatnot.
Right.
But, Bart, honestly, so many great games, throughout this. Or, sorry,
Can we bring up the lower third real quick?
Can we just change it
Can we
to Bart's
toss up the
name?
lower third? Just
what,
verify.
Man? It's
Can we verify with the lower third?
It's been a long day.
Thank you. Okay,
there we go. That's your
not.
name. Are you sure that looks a lot like Bart?
Are you sure?
I'm positive.
Do we have sunglasses?
My English, maybe not that good.
No?
But, you know, it's just you guys have beards. Just throwing
That's
me
what
off.
it is.
That's all it is. No, but seriously, though,
And the other beard.
Shrine Bear, you know, it's just overall fantastic plays out of SK. And what was the one play that really stood out for you the most?
You know, honestly, today, with how much money there is on the line, this is becoming real for these players. And more than that, it's becoming reals. This is
Oh, wow,
easiest
that was good.
thing.
That was
This is the easiest thing to talk about, right? Because reals is off
Way to go,
of
Bart.
control. Double kill. Thanks, Gandhi. You're going to go really over the top of the map here. You see him rolling down there. That's the power of Apollo. He can get up in the air and join the fight, dashing forward, and he's using his mez immediately just to get that protection gain. He's always going to stop him, gets that kill, and he backs out of the fight. This is so important for hunters to do. They need to make sure that they're not on the front line taking AoE damage during a burst fight like that. So Reels really knows the limits of his character, but also when his team needs him. He's able to jump in on the clutch, get the damage out, and once he had crit and Audacity proc, his passive, which doubles his attack speed, it's just out of control from there on.
And that's just, you know, depending on your team at that point, right? To know, like, okay, my boys have this. Time for me to dive in and take care of business, and I think that you know speaks volumes for how SK played that. For you, Reels obviously was a great, player throughout the matchup. Anyone else on SK that was a highlight for you?
I'd say Zaros again, man. He's been impressive in this tournament. Zaros has always been a great player, but he's just been carrying SK on his own right now. I mean,
well, actually, speaking of carrying, we've been carrying a lot of money to give away from the Christmas chest that we've had in game. You know, honestly, let's go ahead and toss it over to the stage to see how much we've actually raised for the Red Cross.
Hello, everyone. Guys, we only have one game left. Are you excited? Before we get into the last game of the day, I'm going to ask to bring out hi-rez Todd and hi-rez Stu, as well as 2 representatives from the American Red Cross. All right, Todd, so give us a rundown of what's going on right now.
Well, earlier this summer, we partnered with the Red Cross for the first one of the Smite charity donation campaigns. You guys remember Raw America that we introduced? Wow. You guys, over the summer, helped us raise $79,000 for the American Red Cross. Now, you've done even better. This winter, the development team again put forth some charity-oriented content with the holiday chests. And as a result of that campaign, we're going to be giving the American Red Cross an additional $110,000. The combined amount from these 2 campaigns has allowed our friends at the American Red Cross to serve over 70,000 families this year alone, thanks to Smite and the Smite community. So on behalf of hi-rez and the Smite community, we're very pleased to present them for this second check, $110,000 to the American Red Cross.
Thank you guys so much. Now we're going to take a quick look at the past year and all the charity events that we have held.
Over the course of the last 2 years, we've had plenty of charity events that have taken place, and they've all been wildly successful.
So in the past, we've had the 24-hour charity live stream, which took place in 2012. That was right before the Mayan apocalypse. I don't know if you guys remember that, but we raised a ton of money for Child's Play thanks to your help, and we had a lot of fun playing Smite. There was also the Smite Challenge for Charity that we had at Siege one year, where we raised a lot of money for Children's Hospitals of Atlanta thanks to Team Dignitas, Team Denial, and also the Creatures, and again, you guys. There was also the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge, which was pretty fun and very uncomfortable as we were outside and had lots of cold water dumped on us, but we raised around 7K for that. There was also the Raw America, one of the all-time favorite charity events that we did in the past. I'm sure you guys remember Raw America, one of our most popular schemes. We raised about $79,000 for Red Cross through that, so thank you guys so much for your help there. And of course, ongoing right now, we have the Smite Holiday Chest Charity Promotion, which is already at about $80 or so thousand, which is way past what we had expected. So I just want to say a big thank you to you guys for helping us break our charity goals time and time again and helping us just raise so much money for these charitable organizations. I really appreciate what you guys do to give back to the community through gaming.
We got to give a big thanks to the community that made it all possible, along with all the generous donations that you've given. I myself went on many dresses and makeup this year, and it's all for a good cause. And with that, we look forward to 2015 and all the charity that we can raise.
My name is John Salter, my in-game name is Barracuda, and I am the hunter for Cognitive Prime. I have a pretty strict schedule. I wake up in the morning, I eat breakfast, I stream Smite, and then I eat lunch, I stream Smite again, and then I have scrims from 7 to 10. Whenever my girlfriend comes over, we have a pretty tight schedule of I have to scrim from 7 to 10 o'clock, so I don't really have much time for other activities because I have to be here for scrims. Like, this is the most important thing that I've ever done in my entire life. Like, I have to practice, I have to be here.
John is probably one of the best people I know, just because he's very genuine and he can find anything positive in any kind of situation that's thrown at him.
Smite has improved my outlook on life a lot. I'm a lot more positive in life, I have a lot more drive, I'm a lot more confident. Smite's given me the ability to talk in front of a camera, to be confident in all parts of my life, because before I was pretty nerdy, I didn't really have that many friends, and now it's like I have the confidence to do things I didn't have before, and that's because of Smite.
I think Smite has made a huge impact on John. He has met people from all countries that he would never have had the opportunity to meet. He's made friends that I think will be lasting friendships for a lifetime.
Smite has affected my family members a lot. In the very beginning, when I wanted to be a pro Smite player, they were like, there's no way you can get paid to be a professional video game player. Like, it's a video game, you can't make money off of that. And now they're going to every event, they're watching every single tournament I play online, and they're supporting me through every step of my life.
I think it's made him more confident. When he was younger and he spent a lot of time playing video games, I guess as any parent, you're thinking, okay, he's wasting his time or whatever. But I can see him actually, making a career out of this, especially with the money, the $2 million that's possible at Worlds.
I support John playing Smite. It's a really unique opportunity, and he's been really successful.
I was super pumped to see John win second place at the Nationals. I mean, I was there cheering for him the whole time, and so I'm even more excited now because I'm going to go watch him play at Worlds, and I can't wait. It's going to be awesome.
Kind of say nature is, I guess, an escape for me, because pro gaming is so stressful. You are practicing hours and hours and hours a day. You're going to sleep thinking about the game, you're waking up thinking about the game. And when I come out here, it's just, I can kind of escape from technology. I can get out of my chair, which is always amazing. And it's a beautiful view, it relaxes me. And I can definitely think a lot more clearer up here than I can cooped up in my house. Smite has a very bright future. It's growing, and it's growing at a rapid pace. And the prize pool at the Worlds event is one of the largest prize pools Smite or esports has ever seen. It's almost $2 million right now. That's ridiculous. The World Championships are going to be my first event that has ever had Chinese teams, European teams, South American teams, Latin American teams. There's the best from the entire world going to be here, and I am extremely happy to present North America at this tournament.